Hello again, everybody. David here, and I am recording this video the same night that I just recorded my reaction to VoicePlay, singing the Wicked medley. I looked into Geoff Castellucci, who was the arranger, and I also looked into the bass, who was singing the incredible low notes there, and I discovered they're the same person. So I went hunting on YouTube and realized within 5 seconds that I'm going to listen to a lot of music that he's done, and I don't know, in case this reaction thing goes somewhere, I wanted to do one for the first time I hear him sing something by himself. So that's what I'm going to do today. I had a hunt through the various things that he's done, and it's October, and so I thought something Halloween-y would be fun. He's done a couple of songs from The Nightmare Before Christmas, which I have seen, but I don't know as well as I should, frankly, but terribly, terribly well. But he's also done the Monster Mash, and so I thought that could be really good fun. I'm always interested to hear what people do with songs that are so well known, and I have no idea what to expect, other than probably some very low notes, based on a little bit of glancing around. That seems to be what he's known for. The other thing that's absolutely incredible to me is I wanted to be a bit more prepared this time rather than having no idea who anybody was the last time I watched one of these. And I had a look at the description of this video, and it says arranged, produced, filmed, performed, and edited by him. And I've just got it's freeze-framed on 0 seconds right now, ready for me to play, and already I'm just impressed with the production values for somebody who is doing something all themselves. And then production manager, costuming, and cameo by Geoff Castellucci, who I presume is his wife, and it's also choreographed. So I'm just super excited all round. I have no idea what's coming my way, other than it's probably going to be awesome. So this is Geoff Castellucci's Monster Mash. Let's check it out. So, okay, 4 of him. I like this. What? That's not bass. How big is this man's range?
I was working in my lab late one night when my eyes beheld.
Okay, I was going to play this straight through, like I did for the last one, but wow. I don't know what to comment on first. I was expecting bass notes to come out straight away, and where did that completely different register? I mean, I guess it was there in the Wicked video as well, but I'm going to restart this. Sorry, I interrupted that. I want to listen to this properly, but I was not expecting that, and my goodness, the velvet of his voice there. I don't know what his speaking voice sounds like. I don't know how much he's putting on here to take it down, but my goodness. I don't know if it's just because it's Halloween. I'm getting a very Thurl Ravenscroft thing going on here, but possibly deeper? I'd have to compare that. But I feel like I don't think Thurl Ravenscroft goes this deep. Anyway, my apologies. Restarting. I'm together now.
Suddenly,
This is great!
by surprise, he did the Monster Mash. It was a graveyard smash.
Oh, I love what they've done with the editing. I'll come back to that.
He did the Monster Mash. From my
Oh.
laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom. The ghouls all came from the humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrode.
Oh, the harmony!
They
Wow.
did the Monster Mash. It was a graveyard smash. the flash. Yes, they did the monster mash.
This is so good.
The zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests included Wolfman, Drunk, and his son. The scene was rocking all
What?
the sounds. The Igor on his chains backed by his
Wow.
hands. The coffin bangers were about to arrive. The great king of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maestro.
This is so good.
They played the mash.
Wow.
Monster mash. They played the mash. The monster mash. Out from his coffin, Drax voice did a ring. It seems he was bothered by. He opened
This
his
choreography is so
coffin and
good.
shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?"
The audio editing too.
Mash. And it's a graveyard smash. It caught on and flashed. It's now the monster mash. Now everything's cool.
Oh, key change.
Part of the man. And my monster mash is the hit of the land. For you, the living, this mash was meant to. When you get to my door, tell them, oh good, you're awake. Let's dance, my darling, shall we?
That laugh though. Oh my goodness. That is wow. Wow on about 19 different levels. That voice. Oh my goodness, I have never heard anything like that before. The arrangement is stunning. Again, just like Wicked, Geoff did that. The comedy of that video, that's so well produced, all done by him. Wow. I can't get over what I just. Okay, we're gonna go back to the beginning, and I didn't know if I was gonna do this talk through it thing again because the Wicked video turned out being. I didn't realize how long I was talking for, but there is so much in his arrangements. He is such a talented arranger, let alone performer, let alone. I mean, even the dancing. I don't know if he dances in other videos, but that was so well put together. I want to know how many takes it took him. Because it's obviously not, it's 3 different hymns doing the dance, so it's minimum 3 takes, and they're so in sync. Either he's an extremely natural dancer, or he did a lot of takes, or it just came together really well. I don't know which, but that was stunning. Anyway, I want to look. I was freeze framed on this, and I didn't realize. I'm going to assume his wife, Kathy, is there on the sofa with it. She's there for the entire video? That's so good. She made me jump when she came out. I did not see that coming. I want to talk about this because there is a world of amazing stuff in this video, so let's have a listen. Oh, also the sound effects. I've done some audio design in my time for podcasts and a couple of radio dramas. The sound effects in this are so good. That intro is so good, especially because it's the Monster Mash. It's a song everybody knows, and you just don't know where it's going with that. I don't know. I'm going to look up. Maybe I'll save it and see if this reaction thing takes off. Maybe I'll just watch it on my own. I don't know. But I'm going to try and look up what video has his full range. Because listen to the sound quality. Like, this high. Oh. La 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 la. Like that's again, my voice is terrible. I shouldn't be probably singing online at this point. But that's right in my comfort range. I have no idea. I don't have perfect pitch. I don't have my piano to hand. Maybe that's something I need to do if I start doing more of this. But that's right in my comfort range. La 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 la. Like that's center of the piano. To give a visual metaphor. He's singing right in the center of the piano right now. And then he sings what must be in the bottom 15, maybe bottom 10 notes on the piano when he hits that low note later on. And everything has such clarity. Now, obviously, such clarity. Finish that thought. He's moving between his voices. I am no singing theorist. I've done some singing training, but I would in no way make myself as somebody who I would say is qualified to talk in depth about singing theory. But he's using his head voice and his chest voice and subharmonics as well. And the clarity of each is so good. Like, so often when somebody goes to the extremes of their range, you start to lose the quality of the sound. You don't get that here. I mean, I've no idea how high he can go. Can he go lower than that? I don't know. I'm thinking maybe, based on some of the stuff that I read when I was trying to find out who he was. But that clarity and the enunciation too. You can hear every word he sings. And one of my things with music is the first time I listen through to something, I tend not to hear the lyrics. I hear the thing as a whole, and the lyrics don't really go in. But he's so clear. I'm hearing everything. And I'm rambling now, but my mind is blown by this. One more time. Couple more things. I love this arrangement for 3 people. Music is one of those things where you tend to hear things more often, certain things more often than others. And I feel like in vocal group performance, whether it's a small group or a large group, we tend to expect 4 voices. And the fact that he's arranged this so beautifully for 3 is fantastic. Also, there is a delightful bit of music theory I'm going to throw out here. If you listen to the last 3 chords as he changes into as the rhythm and the instrumentation comes in, he's used a device here called a tierce de Pickett, or a Pickett third, which is a system. It's very, very common. You've heard it in tons of music, but it's where you take a piece of minor music and resolve it in a major key. And he does that here. We're in that la 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 la. There's your minor third right there. Ba 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 bum. And then he resolves it onto the ba, and we get the major third coming out into there. And I have to say, at the end of a piece of music, when you're finishing off a piece of music, I don't terribly like a tierce de Pickett. I don't know if that's just. It's just my personal taste. I like a piece ending with a bit more lead up to a key change or something like that. I understand why it's there, and I certainly appreciate a good one. But using it at the end of the intro, going into the bulk of the song, is brilliant, because it just allows that intro to stand alone and then resolves into something that is different, I guess. And I think that's absolutely spectacular. So just have a listen for that and you'll hear it. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But it's that da, da, da. There's the major third, and we were singing a minor third shortly beforehand. Da da da. It's brilliant. Anyway, going to run into that and actually keep going. Oh.
I was working in my lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight when my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
I'm really impressed here with he's got that richness, that velvet voice that I'm gonna guess he's adding a quality to it to make it creepy. I don't know, but he makes it's difficult, I think, to be lilting when you're that low. And yet I feel like it has a lilting quality to it. He's moving it. It's almost like he's following a melody, the way that he's actually speaking there, and it's just gorgeous.
an eerie sight when my monster from
Listen to the eerie sight. Like, he covers so much ground, even just telling the story, and it draws you in, right? It's compelling. It makes you want to lean in and listen.
I was working in my lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight when my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, he did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. He did the monster mash.
Couple of lovely things in there. The mixing, I didn't catch the name of the mixer, but the mixing in this is so good because it's leaving that story alone. It's not being interfered with by the vocals, even though it's his voice. And I recognize it's in a completely different register, but if you listen to people doing barbershop quartets of themselves on YouTube, you often find that the voices lock in even tighter because you hear the same pronunciation. You know, I pronounce my S's a certain way, my H's a certain way. Therefore, if four of me are singing, even if we're singing different parts, you're going to hear that in the voice, unless you put a voice on, of course. I mean, he is putting on the creepy voice, I think, but it's just got so much space around it for you to hear it. And I realize it's also in a different register. It's significantly deeper than anything else. But keeping his own voice separate from his own voices is really impressive. I really, really like that. I had another thought and I've forgotten it, so I just want to listen to the last section again.
It was a graveyard smash.
Oh, that was it! They're not just... He's playing with the music. It's not just... The third time he did the mash. He did the mash. It's almost like the monsters are slightly struggling to enunciate the words. It's a really nice musical technique because you also get a little bit of hum, and hum is such a nice sound to accompany something else, whether it's spoken or sung.
It was a graveyard
This next one.
smash. It caught on in a
That's nice.
flash. He did the monster mash. From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom. Fools all came from humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrode.
Wow! Sorry, I just hit the microphone there. That harmony under To Get a Jolt from My Electrode is magic. Listen to that again.
To get a jolt from my
Wow! Wow! I'm not sure whether they're changing. And then I think they sing another chord in a second, but that is so rich against the tonality that we've established for the piece. Da 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 da. That's a flat 6 and a flat 6. Well, going the other way, I guess. Flat 7 and a flat 6 coming down. That is so powerful. It's kind of... It sets you slightly against where we've established the pieces. And then...
electrode.
Oh, that dissonance right there. Listen to those 5 chords.
From the humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrode.
Oh,
They did the mon-
I've got to listen to that one more time. That is such good harmony. brilliant.
The Monster Mash.
Oh, I was going to talk about the editing. I'm loving what they've done with the 3 monster characters, because I've only dabbled a little bit in some film editing, but if I'm not mistaken, they've removed some frames. So it's not smooth motion from here to here. It's like it's here, and then all of a sudden it's here, all of a sudden it's here, all of a sudden it's here, but in the space of 3 frames. Your eyes slightly fill in the motion, because even if you're watching at 30 frames a second, your eyes are probably picking up, I don't know what eyes pick up, but let's say 100 frames a second. There are still gaps, but your eyes automatically fill them in. But they've removed the frames, so the characters appear to have that kind of jerky... It's almost like... I have no idea what the technical terms are for any of this stuff, but it's almost like it's kind of going back to stop motion. There's an element of stop motion each time the monsters change pose, and it just gives it this otherworldly... It's at the same time kind of eerie, slightly comical, and actually slightly aggressive because the motion is so quick. Watch them as they move around.
Troll. They did the Monster Mash. It was a graveyard smash.
So good.
It caught on in a flash.
Oh, even more there. Mash. They never quite get it out the second time. That's great.
But smash. It caught on in a flash. Yes, they did the Monster Mash. The zombies were having fun.
It's almost throwaway, isn't it? The zombies are having fun. Do zombies have fun? I don't know, but they appear to be. That's so good. Oh, it's the same character I was talking about in the Wicked video. There is so much character in his arrangements. I am genuinely mind blown at how well he's arranged everything.
Mash. The zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests included Wolf.
Oh, here it comes.
Dracula and his son. The scene was...
Wow! Just wow! That subharmonic. I have no idea what note that is. Let's see if we can figure this out. If I do natural A tuning. There's a word. Oh my good lord. A440. That's an A. What's he just sung? That's a D. Is that a D1? Okay, Wow, I knew I was going to be in for something special when I looked these videos up. I had no idea quite what. I might not be right about this, but I think that's a D1. That tuning note was a little tricky to hear. Here is a picture. Oh goodness, it's not gonna. This is crazy. I'm just going to add that to my photos. This is a picture of a piano. Right? Is that going to show up? Not very well. Too bright. There. Yeah, there we go. There's a piano. All right. We all know what a piano looks like, roughly. Vocal singing, for the most part, where am I? Is around kind of this range of the piano here. I think that's safe to say. He's singing right down there. You've got one black note, then you've got 2 black notes. He's singing the white note in between those 2 black notes, I think. Without having my piano here, I'm not 100% sure. And I don't want to waste too long trying to search stuff on here. I have no idea how to sing subharmonics. I don't know how he does this. But wow, that's something else.
included Wolfman.
I also love the Wolfman scratching. That's great.
Dracula and his son. The scene was rocking, all were digging the sounds. The eagle on his chains, backed by his hounds. The coffin bangers were about to arrive. The vocal group, the grip kicker 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice girl.
Ah, and there we actually switch. So he does the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's that wonderful crunch and the sudden, rigor mortis setting in, and we're back in the minor key again. So he's reversed the Tears to Piccadilly from the beginning of the song. You'll hear it when he goes la 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 rather than la 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 la.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice girl.
Oh, did I just see Kathy twitch? I think I did. Maybe not. Oh no, maybe it's just the shading in the corner, the little vignette. He's not singing all of those low notes in subharmonics, by the way. Some of those are just him singing in voice. Oh, yeah, she twitches her knee there. Which, honestly, listening to a note like that, like I'm having chills listening to this. I think any kind of reaction is understandable. Oh.
Out from his coffin, Drax voice did a ring. It seems he was
Bit of a breakdown going on. Actually, again, kudos to his dancing skills, because it's a very ballistic movement. Suddenly I know we've got the missing frames and all that sort of thing, but suddenly going from examining one wrist to suddenly being back here, it's a very ballistic movement, and they are so in time. Like, this is great.
It seems he was bothered by. He opened his coffin and shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?"
If you're listening to this with headphones, you'll have picked up on why I'm chuckling. I mean, it's funny anyway, it's a great line. But he's added an audio effect, so it sounds like Dracula's passing behind you. Because when he says whatever at the beginning, he's right here. And by the time he gets to Transylvania twist, he's here. And you can hear the motion as the sound pans from left to right. And it sounds like he's just walked behind you. It's actually very creepy. And it takes what's actually quite a comedic line and makes it just a tiny little bit unsettling. It's great.
Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?
Also, the cheeky glint in, let's call him narrator Geoff. The cheeky glint in his eye as he comes back up from that. It's just, oh.
Transylvania twist. Is now the monster mash. And it's a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. It's now the monster mash. Now everything's cool.
Nice key change.
And my monster mash is the hit of the land. For you, the living, this mash was meant to. When you get to my door, tell them, oh good, you're awake.
It's so matter of fact. Oh good, you're awake. Let's dance. I don't think there's anything more to be said at this point, other than just how absolutely amazing this video is. I am so impressed with all of this. Let's just go back. I want to actually go back to where the Transylvania twist was, because I'm assuming it just comes straight back in the major key.
His coffin, Drax voice did a ring. It seems he was bothered by. He opened his coffin and shook his fist.
Nice jazzy chords.
Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?
Yeah.
It's now the monster mash. And it's a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. It's now the monster mash. Now everything's cool. Drax a part of the band.
Undead Charleston.
Mash is the hit of the land. For you, the living, this mash was meant to. When you get to my door, tell them, oh good,
He's holding her by the wrist, just limp-wristed. I love they each have their own characterization there as well. Like, you've got the monster on the right who's just doing this. Dracula's doing it too, but much more animated, and the Wolfman can't help but scratch at his ear a little bit before he does it. That's... the character in those three. Wow! I have made a discovery tonight. Thank you very much to Nick, who sent this to me. I am mind blown by VoicePlay originally, and by Geoff. And I still want to look up the other singers. Like, VoicePlay is obviously a whole group. I did a little study. It seems like they've had some, they've had some member changes over time. I also want to look up the 2 female vocalists because, my goodness, they were out of this world good. I think I'm particularly fascinated by Geoff just because, as somebody who used to sing a lot of bass, I wish I could do that. I wish I was even on the same scale as him. I'm not. I think I've made that very clear. But when I used to sing all the time, that was my pipe dream. Was to be able to do that sort of thing. I think I heard people like I heard Willard White sing opera back in the day, and that richness of the basso profundo tone. But this is wonderful, and the fact that he's harmonizing with himself. I used to love barbershop. I still love barbershop music. I used to love singing in a barbershop quartet, and I just feel a real attachment to bass instruments, including the voice, and kind of quartet singing. So this is so far up my street. It's I practically live there. There we have it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're watching this video, it was a lot of fun to sit here and just expose myself to this extraordinary music. I'm going to go and listen to a lot more of Geoff's work, and VoicePlay has come to that. And if this proves to be popular, maybe I'll react to some more. But I also, if I turn this into a thing, I don't want it to be too one note. No pun intended. But I appreciate you coming along and joining me. My name's David. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.